Today is the first day of spring. And I know that might sound like a calendar fact, something you note and move past without giving it much weight, but I want you to sit with it for a moment. Because what happens in nature on this day is not just a change in temperature or the length of daylight, it is a complete, undeniable, unstoppable renewal. The earth that spent months frozen and dormant and seemingly lifeless is not dead. It was never dead. It was waiting. It was gathering. It was doing the slow, invisible work of preparation, underground, in the dark, far from any applause, so that when the moment came, it could burst forward with everything it had been holding. That is not just a nature story. That is your story too. Welcome to Motivation Daily. This is March 20th, the first day of spring, and today I want to talk about what it means to begin again. Not because you failed, not because you lost, but because beginning again is one of the most powerful things a human being can do, and the world has just handed you the most perfect invitation it knows how to give. Think about where you were at the start of this year, the intentions you set, the version of the year you imagined when January still felt full of possibility. Some of those intentions have taken root and grown. Others have gone quiet, buried under the weight of daily life, the friction of reality, the slow erosion of early momentum. And if you were honest with yourself, there are probably some promises you made to yourself in January that you have already quietly let slide. That is not failure. That is human. That is the winter of a goal, the hard, cold stretch where the conditions are difficult and the results are invisible, and staying committed requires more than enthusiasm alone. Almost everyone experiences it. The question is not whether you went through a winter. The question is whether you are willing to let spring change things. Because here's what spring actually is. It is not a reward for surviving the cold. It is a reminder that cycles are real, that nothing, not your motivation, not your momentum, not your sense of possibility, stays dormant forever unless you decide it does. That the same earth that looked barren and finished 3 months ago is capable of producing something extraordinary given the right conditions and the decision to grow. You are capable of the same thing right now, today. I want to talk about the psychology of fresh starts for a moment, because there is real science behind why a day like today matters more than it might seem. Researchers who study human motivation have found something they call the fresh start effect, a documented tendency for people to pursue their goals with significantly more energy and commitment following temporal landmarks, New Year's, birthdays, the start of a new week, the beginning of a new season. These moments create a psychological reset. They give us permission to draw a line between the past and the present, to leave our previous stumbles behind us, and to approach our goals with the identity of someone who is starting fresh rather than someone who has already failed. That permission is not an illusion. It is a real and powerful cognitive shift, and you have one available to you right now, handed to you by the planet itself on the first day of a new season. So let's use it. What is the thing you let go of in the winter that deserves to be picked back up today? What intention got buried under the cold and the difficulty and the pace of life that still has life in it, that still matters to you, still calls to you, still represents something real about who you want to become? Because I would be willing to bet there is something. There is almost always something. A goal that went quiet but did not die. A version of yourself you caught a glimpse of and then lost in the noise. A direction you started moving toward and then slowly, almost imperceptibly, stopped. Today is the day you pick it back up. Not with guilt about the time that passed, not with a punishing internal monologue about how you should have done better, with the clean, uncomplicated energy of someone who has decided that the season has changed and so have they. Spring does not arrive apologizing for winter. It does not dwell on how long the ground was frozen or how dark the mornings were. It simply begins, boldly, completely, without negotiation. The first flower does not wait for permission or certainty or the guarantee that no more frost is coming. It pushes through anyway, because pushing through is what it was made to do. You were made to push through too. So today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not when the timing is better, today I want you to name the one thing that represents your spring. The one growth, the one goal, the one change that this new season is going to be defined by. Not a list of resolutions, just one true, honest, this is what matters to me right now intention. Name it. Write it down. Say it out loud if you have to. And then do one thing, just one, that moves you toward it before this day is done. The season has changed. The ground is thawing. It is time to grow. Happy first day of spring. Share this with someone who is ready for their own fresh start today. Subscribe to Motivation Daily. We will be right here with you every single day of this season. Drop a comment and tell me, what is your spring intention? What are you growing this season? I want to hear every single one. See you tomorrow. Keep going.